It is Saturday here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. No North Carolina A&T Aggies today. The Aggies are on a bye after GHO last week, the greatest homecoming on earth. So you won't have that later on today, but never fear. My guys, Ryan Smith, Ben Troupe, former NFL tight end, in the house for our Saturday NFL roundtable. Today's really simple, y'all. Is there a great team in the NFL? I'm sitting there looking around, and I can't find one that I'm willing to put all my money on that's going to make it to the Super Bowl. They're all flawed. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, we're going to talk about my Carolina Panthers, baby. 3 out of the last 4 winners going up to play the New York Jets, who pretty much look like the worst team in football, which means this is a trap game for the Carolina Panthers, which I have not said in probably about 5 years. So we'll get into all that and more here in just a bit. It's the Desmond Johnson Show.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been #1, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you want and get your weed whack. I'm going harder than a martyr on the starter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's 4th and inches. I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
And welcome into the Desmond Johnson Show Saturday morning here on WWBG 1470 AM, youtube.com/at Tobacco Road Sports Radio, and of course at tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. Winning the division co-host Ryan Smith and Ben Troupe in the house with us, our panel for our Saturday NFL roundtable. And guys, as we enter into week 7 of this young NFL season, I'm sitting there scanning around the standings and just trying to figure out who's who and what's what and who should be like the team that we're all kind of looking at here. And I can't land on one and decisively be like, that's the great team this year. There's always one great team. Last year was the Eagles and the Chiefs. But the Chiefs won a lot of really, really close games like all year long. The Eagles were the most consistent team from beginning to end. But I don't know if we really have one of those this year. So the main topic starting off this Saturday, and a little bit later on, we'll have some of the best of the week. David Glenn and Brendan Marks from The Athletic stopped by with me earlier this week to talk UNC football and to talk a little bit about UNC and Duke hoops coming up here because the basketball season is going to start literally in like 2 weeks. So we'll have that a little bit later on in the show. But guys, who looking at the standings, looking at the good teams, the teams we picked early in the preseason, now after watching a third of the season, it doesn't feel like there's a great team. It feels like there's a handful of good teams. Out of the handful of good teams, who would you be willing to bet will emerge as the great team for the 2025 NFL season? Who wants to try to take a crack at this? Because I've been staring at it all day, and I'm like, I can't really trust any of these teams. Ryan, why don't you go? You said you had an idea for a couple of them.
So when I look at the landscape of the NFL right now, I would agree there is no team that is great. Everyone has flaws of some sort. I do think we are over-exaggerating Buffalo a little bit. The loss to Atlanta was surprising, but it wasn't that surprising if you watch their last few games and who they have wins over. Their defense, you can run on them pretty good. So right now, I think Buffalo's got to regroup. I'm going to go with 3 teams that everyone loves is Kansas City. They're the closest thing to great right now in the AFC. They're getting Rashee Rice back after that suspension. They went 3-3 without him. Their defense is always going to be good under Steve Spagnuolo. They're older. They're less experienced on the back end, but they're still solid. And then you have Ben. You'll agree with this as a player how important this is. Last year, Kansas City, not one game did they have Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster. Was it? Yeah, Juju. Yeah. Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and whoever the other guy is that I can't think of right now, Xavier Worthy, on the field at the same time. This year, they're finally going to have it. Week 7 with Rashee Rice and then on the rest of the season. And so that's my team in the AFC right now. That's the closest thing to great. In the NFC, you're actually going to see that battle this weekend, Detroit versus Tampa Bay. I think one of those two teams is going to end up with the 1 seed from the NFC side. My gut is telling me Detroit. I think Tampa Bay is going to be too banged up to win this game this weekend. I think Detroit's going to kind of ride it out from there.
Okay, so let's see how this segment's going to go. It's probably going to be you guys putting out your teams and me kind of trying to squash them down because I looked at it all day. I was like, no, I don't know if I can do that one. So love the picks. Kansas City. My only thing I will say about Kansas City is that I fear they have played too many games in the past 3 or 4 years combined to get all the way to the Super Bowl again. I know it's a new team and they've been injured early, so there's some things where those guys will start coming back, and in theory, they should start looking a lot better. They're 3-3 right now, and I'm looking in their division. I'd be concerned about the Chargers. Not Denver is 4-2 also, but they're 2-2 on the road. They have a really good. They probably have the best defense in that division in AFC West, the Denver Broncos. But the Chargers just have a little bit of everything you want for a Jim Harbaugh NFL team. I don't know if I want to bet against Jim Harbaugh getting to the AFC Championship game, basically, just based off his record, from where he's been and what he does. I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that there. And then you said the winner of the Tampa Bay Detroit game this weekend over in the NFC.
I believe we'll get the 1 seed, the winner of that game.
I can kind of get with that. The Bucks are 5-1. Detroit is 4-2. Tampa has won a lot of close games. I think it feels like they've been behind every game they've been in this year in the fourth quarter. And Baker Mayfield, who's having an MVP season, up to this point, he's been kind of carrying them. They've been injured too. Mike Evans has been out. Chris Godwin's been out. They'll start getting those guys back here soon. Bucky Irvin was out with injury. So they'll start getting last week he finished the game with like 6th, 7th, and 8th wide receivers or something like that. And 2 of them caught touchdowns for the first times in their career. Shout out to Tez Johnson. So yeah, I mean, I can't push back with another team that I'm like, yeah, I think that this one's better than both of those. But we're waiting for Ben. Ben was in the car. He's to the studio right now. Going back to, is Kansas City the only team that you're looking at in the AFC that could be considered great, or is there any other team that we're overlooking?
So sorry, yeah, Buffalo. They have the tools to be great. Now, that defense you'll see in a few weeks when the Panthers play Buffalo next week in Charlotte. That Buffalo defense can be run on. That offense, we know how good they can be when Josh Allen is not under pressure and he has time to operate. So I think Buffalo has the tools to do it. I'm not a fan of the Pittsburgh Colts. I think they remind me last year of Sam Darnold playing quarterback with the Vikings. Daniel Jones is playing really well. I don't think they're going to go 14-3 like the Vikings did last year. I do think they're going to win their division, though, at this point, I think.
Jacksonville's sitting right there. Kind of interesting, too.
I can't see them going, though, in past the divisional round of the playoffs at best. And the AFC, the only other teams that I see, to answer your question, that is healthy and could make a run is Pittsburgh, the Colts, and Buffalo. That's it right now, based on health or record.
All right, so Ben, we got Ben back here now. We got him on video too. So Ben, same question to you as I gave to Ryan. I don't believe that there's a great team in the NFL this season, so I want you guys to prove me wrong. Ryan gave 3 choices: Kansas City and the winner of the Detroit Tampa Bay game this upcoming Sunday. Do you think that there's a quote unquote great team in NFL this season? If it is, who do you think it is?
If there is going to be a great team, I do think Detroit is going to have a shot because they got staying power. And I just think that while Detroit lost to Kansas City had to show them, number one, hey, we can still play good football, and we can do it in a dominating fashion. Take away Amon St. Brown, take away the running game, force y'all to be one-dimensional. But if we're talking about good, Desmond and Smitty compared to great, I'm going to keep saying this. Nobody wants Carolina to come to the party. And this is why I'm saying this. I know I'm on here. I know I'm on here with Smitty and Desmond. Here's what I'm saying.
Preach, brother. We're here for it. Go ahead.
The only thing that breeds confidence is evidence. That's where it comes from. Show me the evidence. Oh, man, he only got 8 career wins. Yeah, a lot of them was come from behind. I say this to Smitty every single week. Bryce Young was known for coming from behind, even in his days in Alabama. And I'm saying this: if y'all want my quarterback to play well, I need to have complimentary football. And I said, they told Ted McMillan, dude, forget all this between the 20s. When we get to the red zone, we're gonna get you to rock because people don't think you're a red zone threat. Because I'm talking about good to great. Right now, we know what Detroit is. Right now, we know what the Bucs is. Can the Bucs play good football down the stretch? Because a lot of guys are getting hurt. Emeka is hurt. You know, Chris Godwin's still hurt. Mike Evans still hurt. And I'm going to say this. When we talk about a team that two teams, I'm going to use teams that no one wants to see get good. In the NFC, two of them. Carolina's one. They don't want to see them. They don't want Chicago to keep playing. Well, you don't want that to happen because right now the Ben Johnson experiment is working. I'm not talking about – this ain't about usual suspects. I ain't talking about Detroit. I ain't talking about the best coaches in the AFC. I mean, Buffalo is not the problem. It's New England. Nobody's talking about the fact that New England's the number one in that division right now. It's a dumpster fire going on with the Dolphins. Buffalo is good, but can I just say something about Josh Allen? Why do people want Josh Allen to succeed so bad? Josh Allen will still do stuff to go, did you see that? Did you? That's a former MVP. And I'm going to say it to you, Desmond, what I tell to Smitty. We respect certain teams so much that we act like they can't be beat. That's why we go, who beat them? Well,
Kansas City at this point is like that, where we're just like, oh man, Kansas City lost, who they lose to?
Yeah, so for me, it's not about who is great, it's who's coming. And you know who's coming? Carolina's coming. We'll see about my Falcons. We'll see. Because Michael Penix, essentially, this is still his rookie year. He didn't really have a rookie year. Caleb Williams is so sick of hearing about Jaden Daniels. Oh, he should have went number one and not me. Well, what happened when they went head-to-head? Oh, that's right. Caleb Williams beat him. So this, to me, is about the teams who no one's talking about because we just wrote them off. It's everybody but them. But guess who don't want Carolina to get good? It ain't the Falcons. It ain't the Saints. It's the Bucs. They say, hey, Bucs, if we beat y'all, now everybody's going to talk about us because Baker Mayfield has forgot that he's 6 feet 200 running into linebackers like he got some weight on him. He's not going to survive.
Yeah, he's crazy. So that's the kind of quarterback people want to play for. Like when he's going to do that, and he's that size. Interesting thoughts from Ben, because I'm not going to jump on the Carolinas about to dominate the NFL yet because Bryce Young is yet to win a home game or in a road game. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. We got to prove him win on the road.
I need to see him beat the Jets. And what better team to get the road monkey off your back than the 0-6 inept New York Football Jets? Go up there, play a convincing game. You go to 4-3. National media's all over you all of a sudden because now you've won 4 out of 5, and now and if Tampa loses to Detroit, now you're a game out of first, if I'm not mistaken, at that point. Because
then you host Buffalo, who's
right after that, who's
coming on a two-game losing streak,
and they don't have a very good defense themselves, so they're vulnerable too. So things shape up a certain way, but I don't want Carolina to look ahead. And I did want to talk a little NFC South in here while I had you guys too. Atlanta's another one where you look at Atlanta and you see all of their top skill position players on offense are all top 10 first-round picks. Like all of them. Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're all top 10 dudes that got picked in their drafts. And it's kind of like, they should be better than this by now. Like, they should be like good at this point because some of those guys have been there 2-3 years. So this might be the year where Atlanta starts to do it, which makes that Carolina-Atlanta game from a couple of weeks ago almost like an outlier because it's like Atlanta just had a dud of a day that day. Like, they gave the ball up so much. Carolina couldn't help but score because of where they were giving them the football and turnovers or whatever. And that was kind of that was the start of this 3 and 4 week stretch that Carolina's had, was that 30-0 shutout of Atlanta. You don't shut out NFL teams very often. It rarely happens where a team doesn't score a point in an NFL game. So the defense in Carolina has been the key. Having Derek Brown in week 6 as opposed to not having him after like week 2 last year has been such a huge difference in the run game for Carolina that it's like mind-boggling. Like, it's like literally I'm watching running backs from other teams run into a brick wall like 20 times a game where teams just keep trying to run up the middle. And it's like, you're not getting past Derek Brown. I'm seeing this dude shut off triple teams. I watched this dude get off a triple team on a reel and make the tackle, like in the hole for like a loss of a yard. I'm just like, this dude's ragdolling people like all over the place. And now that he's back and healthy, to me, he's one of the top 10 defenders in the league. Like right now, the way he's playing, he's getting paid for it that way. I'll put Carolina in a wait and see because I don't know. I've been burned too many times, by my Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
Where
right.
I feel like this is it. This is the year. They're going to finally start doing it. And then they give me a little hope and it comes back down. I haven't felt like this since Steve Wilkes took over as interim head coach, where it was like, okay, you can see it on the players' faces. They're willing to run through a wall for this man. Like they're going to make this interesting. They're going to make the season interesting the rest of the year. And they did. They almost backed into a playoff spot after they traded off Christian McCaffrey, after they kind of started a fire sale. Then they won a couple games. They're like, well, hold on. Let's hold on to the rest of our stuff and let's just see what we do. Then they casually sent Steve Wilkes out the door. I haven't felt like this since then, and that was 2022. Was that 2022?
Yeah,
23, somewhere in there. It's been a couple years. So.
22.
Yeah, so it's been like 3+ years. So we'll see about Carolina. I'm looking at. First of all, I don't trust Philadelphia. I feel like Philadelphia's going to lose Sunday. Like,
oh yeah, I don't trust them. You shouldn't trust them.
We've seen this Philadelphia just 2 years ago. We saw this Philadelphia Eagles team go 10-1. Yeah. They went 10-1 and then lost out the rest of the season. Pretty much, they just fell apart. They always have something internal going on, like something the coach or the quarterback and the wide receiver don't get along, or the wide receivers being all diva-ish, and something's always going on with them. And
you know what the problem is, Desmond. And no one wants to see. You know what the problem is in Philly? They got a Saquon Barkley problem. Where is Saquon?
Give it to him. Yeah.
I mean, let me. And this, I don't like the pre-qualify statements, but this is not Saquon Barkley slander. This is coming off a 2,000-yard season. People's like, I'm gonna pick up where I left off. Defense coordinator says, "Who scares you the most, Jalen or Saquon?" Saquon. So they're gonna load the box for Saquon, and they're gonna force Jalen Hurts to beat you. Jalen Hurts can beat you. Saquon, I mean, he can punish you. This goes back to the greatest Carolina Panther of all time, and what he said. He says Jalen Hurts, and that is Cam Newton. We said Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback, not because he don't have the ability to do it, but that's not how his game is made up. That's not his
game on his back. Like there's only like 4 quarterbacks in the whole league that can really like drag a team to a victory. Like, and honestly, I'd put Baker Mayfield in that category at this point right now. He's shown enough where he's like, yeah, I can do that. But like him, Josh Allen, Lamar when he's healthy, Pat Mahomes, I might put Justin Herbert in there now. At this point.
Jared Goff can do it.
Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. I'd probably put Dak in there in terms of now he's a little bit more. It just depends on the situation and who he's got available to him. But in terms of just like if I've got that dude at quarterback and we're down 6 with like 3 minutes to go, that dude can get us down the field. Regardless of who he's got on the field with him, he's a game changer. And I'm willing to put Baker Mayfield in that group now for what we've seen the past couple of years. They won the NFC South, Ryan, like 3 years in a row or something like that?
4 years in a row.
4 years, like really since Tom Brady retired. It's been Tampa winning the division. So they haven't missed a beat. So I'm reluctant, though, to put Tampa as they're 5-1. They have the best record in the league. I think they're the only one-loss team, if I'm not mistaken. No. That's not right. The Colts are 5-1, and Pittsburgh is 4-1.
Let me give you my NFC South status right now. This will be quick. I promise. This will be quick. New Orleans, we all know, not going to win very many games this year, but they are trying very hard for Kellen Moore, and I think Spencer Rattler is doing much better than people are giving him credit for right now. From former South Carolina quarterback, Oklahoma, with Caleb Williams before he transferred. And then shout out to Alvin Kamara. I just want to give a shout out to Calvin Kamara. And as a Tennessee alumni, as a Florida fan like Ben here, I don't like doing this to Tennessee players. But Calvin Kamara, he wants to stay in New Orleans. He does not want to get traded. He said something about it feels good to love where you're at and actually go through the pain and the levels and actually try to win where you're at. And there's something to that. And I just want to shout out Alvin Kamara to that. So Ben, you can maybe speak to that as a former player. Atlanta, I think Michael Penix is kind of holding them back right now. As Ben said, it's kind of his rookie year. So he's going to have those ups and those downs. Because like you said, Desmond, there's so many first-round picks on Atlanta. Michael Penix just has to unlock this offense at the end of the day. Atlanta's defense can't go anywhere but up, as Ben knows from the last decade plus. Panthers, we've kind of already discussed. Steve Wilkes is going to have his bag ready on Sunday for the Carolina Panthers. You can believe that because he's the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. But yeah, if the Panthers can win a road game on Sunday in New York, they'll feel good being 4-3, come back to host the Buffalo Bills, and maybe they can continue on a winning streak or at least play relevant football into the second half of the season. And then Tampa Bay, They're very impressive right now. Baker Mayfield, his moxie, his toughness, we all know that, his charisma. But they are so beat up right now. I don't think people understand this. They are without Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan. That's their top 3 receivers. And Emeka Ibuka is their number 4. He will probably be out this weekend as well. Oh, that's right. Bucky Irving, their top running back, is also out. And then 3 of their top 5 offensive linemen are out. So they're doing this with so many injuries, and they're 5-1. So imagine when they actually get most of these players back, how tough they're going to be. I think Ben, when we did our NFC South preview, he said it. The Bucs have the best culture in the division. That's why they're so good, is that culture has already been established. Yeah, the team may not be the best team on paper, but that culture is already established, and they are doing a really good job. Again, they're not even healthy. When they get the guys back healthy, they're going to be even scarier, and that's obviously not good news for the Falcons and the Panthers.
Yeah, but by the time they get everybody healthy, you know who else has gotten good? Carolina and Atlanta might have gotten good. See, nobody's thinking on that. It's once again, no one. We only up in arms when something goes against the plan. Yeah, we thought that Tampa was going to be good, right?
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield is just playing out of his mind. But by the time they get healthy, because what you know who's the scariest duo in the league right now when he get back? That would be the services of Dowdle and freaking Hubbard.
Troupe's supposed to play Sunday. Troupe's supposed to play Sunday.
We're supposed to have everybody back Sunday. We'll see.
I've seen Thunder and Lightning. I've seen Thunder and Lightning before in Carolina with Stewart and D'Angelo. And all I'm saying is, Rico
me and Stu have talked. I specifically asked Stu on Believe in Panthers. Shameless plug. You can watch that on the Believe podcast channel, and where all major podcasts are at right now. I asked him, who better to ask than Jonathan Stewart? What's it like being a 2-headed running back system? We mean the pros and the cons for it. And he was like, it was great because it was like it extended both of their careers, him and D'Angelo Williams. And he was like, we knew what we were going to do. Like if D'Angelo broke off a 30-yard, 40-yard run, he said he would get ready to go in because he knew D'Angelo was ready to come out, for obvious reasons. He just ran a 45-yard, run or whatever. He's gassed. He needs to come out for a breather. And they created the symmetry with that. You add Cam Newton to that, the first couple of years of Cam Newton, where I just think back at that Carolina Panthers offense, the first 2 years that they had Cam, they had D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Greg Olsen, Jeremy Shockey, Steve Smith was still on this team. Ricky Prohl, I think, was still here. They had some dudes on offense, and the defense still had people too. Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, pretty much the beginning of the core of the 2015 team that went to the Super Bowl. He had a lot of that there when he first got there. This Carolina team is starting to shape similar to those teams where it's defense first, run the ball, stop the run, keep things within your control, game clock management, which we saw from Dave Canales brilliantly on Sunday last week. They had the ball the last 6 minutes of the game, got it all the way down, ice it at 3 seconds, kick a field goal, everybody, let's go home. That kind of stuff, that shows me they're all learning. And to Ben's point, they've had enough of these last-second losses and trying to come from behind and run out of time and that kind of stuff. Now they're starting to learn how to win. They're starting to actually stack wins. And that's the thing Stu's always said. Now that you've won a game or two, now it's time to stack wins and know what that feels like. And once you know what that feels like, then you start to expect to win. And when you start to expect to win, the whole confidence changes for everybody. And you're starting to see it with Carolina, the way they talk in the media. The questions they're getting asked in the media are different. I feel good about what they're doing. Now, again, I'm not going to be like Carolina's going to win the division, blah, 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 yada, yada. But Tampa's got some holes in their balloon, in my opinion. They're 5-1, but I think Detroit's going to beat them by double digits on Sunday. I really do. I think Detroit's going to beat them. That's going to put Tampa at 5-2. If Carolina takes care of the business on Sunday versus the Jets, that puts them at 4-3. Same with Atlanta. If Atlanta wins this week, they'll also be they'll be 4-2. So they'll be a half a game ahead of us in the standings, but we'll both be, like a game or half game back from Tampa. The division gets wide open, basically, is my point. And neither one of it. Well, no, Atlanta played Tampa week 1, but Carolina hasn't seen Tampa at all. They'll see them twice.
2 of the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah. So if things go well, Ryan, we might get a flexed game, Carolina and Tampa, Monday Night Football or something, Sunday night in Tampa. Yeah. So we'll see. But with all that, but before we get out of here, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, and the Indianapolis Colts, because the one thing I always look at with teams at this point is point differential. The Indianapolis Colts lead the NFL in point differential. They have outscored opponents by 78 points. The next closest team to that is Detroit at plus 49 and Seattle at plus 49. So Indy has scored 30 more points over their opponents than any other team in the league. Like, I think Indy's almost like the way Carolina was being treated in 2015, in my opinion. Like, they're the worst 5-1 team ever, like that kind of stuff. Like, I was hearing Carolina's the worst 14-0 team I've ever seen, like that kind of stuff during 2015. Like, people just could not wrap their minds around them getting all the way through. And I think that's where we are with Indy. People could not wrap their minds around this team being a good team with Daniel Jones at quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, I think they are. I think they are a good team. They've had a couple of years in a row of drafting high, just like Carolina did. The quarterback they picked, Anthony Richardson, didn't work out. You find a guy that can just simply complete the ball. You can complete the ball and you can run a little bit with your feet. And Daniel Jones, put him in the right system. Daniel Jones is a system quarterback. He was the system quarterback at Duke. Like, at the Giants, he just was in the wrong system. Now he's in a system where it's more controlled. He can see the field better. I don't think Indy's going to lose that division. I think Indy might mess around and be the 1 seed in the AFC, which is crazy talk. But everyone else has flaws, except for, I hate saying it, but maybe New England. Because Drake May's playing out of his mind too. Like, Drake May is playing at MVP level, and they got a defense. Mike Vrabel, they're gonna have them boys right. It could easily be Indy versus what is it, like 2005, like all over again. It could be Indy versus New England in the AFC Championship game with the Chargers and like who else? Let's say the Chargers and who's on the team from Denver, all kind of like sniffing around it, which is crazy, but. I just want to say, don't forget about Indy. Like, just don't. Now, granted, they've only played 2 games away from Indy. They've played 4 games at home. So keep that in mind, too. They're 4-0 at home. They're 1-1 away from home. And I'm pretty sure most of those points came from there, too. So that's probably something to keep an eye on. But don't forget about the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to take a break right here. I'm going to bring on from earlier this week, North Carolina Sports Network's David Glenn and Brendan Marks from The Athletic joined me to talk a little bit about North Carolina football and the Bill Belichick situation, what it would take for a buyout, if they could even do that. Brendan Marks has some great info regarding that. That'll probably make some UNC fans kind of mad, but he'll give us that. And then also his thoughts on the UNC basketball roster and Duke as college basketball gets prepared to start here in the next couple of weeks. It's the Desmond Johnson Show. We'll be back in just a bit.